What if I told you that a sticky black liquid made from burning pine trees in a dirt pit can protect wood for over 800 years, and that the billion-dollar chemical wood treatment industry still cannot match it? You would probably laugh. But by the end of this video, you will not be laughing, you will be angry. Because this knowledge was never lost, we just stopped using it. And the reason we stopped has nothing to do with science. It has everything to do with money. Stay till the end, because I'm going to show you exactly how medieval people made this substance, step by step, using nothing but fire and trees. And I will show you why modern science is now quietly admitting they were right all along. Before you understand the solution, you need to understand the problem. Wood does not just rot on its own, it gets eaten, fungi break it down, bacteria feed on it, insects bore into it, moisture is the trigger. When wood absorbs water, its moisture content rises above 20%. That is the magic number. Above 20%, fungi activate. They send tiny threads called hyphae deep into the wood fibers. These threads release enzymes that dissolve the cellulose. The cellulose is what gives wood its strength. Once the cellulose is gone, the wood turns soft and spongy and crumbles apart. This is rot. Every wooden fence post, every deck, every barn wall that has ever fallen apart did so because moisture invited fungi to dinner. And the fungi never say no. Modern pressure-treated lumber tries to solve this with chemicals. Factories force copper-based preservatives deep into the wood under high pressure. The most common treatment today is called ACQ, alkaline copper quaternary. It replaced an older treatment called CCA, which contained arsenic. Yes, arsenic. For decades, the wood industry was pumping arsenic into playground equipment and backyard decks. CCA was banned for residential use in 2003 in the United States because it was literally poisoning the soil around treated wood. The replacement, ACQ, is less toxic, but it has a problem. It is highly corrosive to metal fasteners. Nails and screws in ACQ-treated wood corrode 2 to 5 times faster than in untreated wood. So you protect the wood, but you destroy the hardware holding it together. And here's the real issue. Even the best modern pressure-treated wood has a lifespan of about 15 to 25 years in ground contact. After that, the chemicals leach out and the fungi move back in. Now compare that to what the Vikings did. In medieval Scandinavia, there was a substance so valuable that entire trade routes existed just to move it. It was called Stockholm tar. Not because it was invented in Stockholm, but because Stockholm became the biggest export hub for it in the 1600s. At its peak, Sweden and Finland exported over 100,000 barrels of pine tar per year. This tar was the foundation of every navy in northern Europe. Without it, wooden ships could not survive the sea. The English Navy depended on it so heavily that when supplies were threatened, they went to war over it. But pine tar did not start with navies. It started with farmers. Ordinary medieval families across Scandinavia, Finland, and Russia used pine tar on everything. Fences, roofs, barns, doors, boat hulls, rope, even leather. They coated wooden church walls with it. Some of those churches are still standing. The Borgund Stave Church in Norway was built around 1180 CE. Over 800 years ago, the wood is original. It has been maintained with pine tar for its entire life. Not replaced. Maintained. The process is shockingly simple. Medieval tar makers dug a funnel-shaped pit in the ground. They lined the bottom with birch bark to create a channel that drained into a collection vessel, usually a buried pot or hollowed log. Then, they stacked split pine wood into the pit. Not just any pine. They used resin-rich fatwood, the heartwood of old pine stumps and roots, where natural resin had concentrated over years. They covered the entire stack with turf and soil, leaving only a small opening at the top. Then they lit it. The wood burned slowly with very little oxygen. This is called pyrolysis. The heat broke down the resin and wood into vapor. That vapor condensed as it moved downward through the cooler layers of the stack. The liquid that dripped out the bottom was pine tar. Dark, thick, and incredibly effective. A single large pit could produce 30 to 50 liters of tar in one burn. No machines, no chemicals, no factory. Pine tar works because of its chemistry. It contains over 100 different organic compounds, phenols, cresols, guaiacol. These compounds are naturally antifungal and antibacterial. When you brush pine tar onto wood, it penetrates deep into the grain. The phenols poison the fungi, the oils repel water, and as the tar cures, it forms a flexible, breathable coating that moves with the wood as it expands and contracts through seasons. This is the key difference from modern treatments. Modern preservatives sit inside the wood as a fixed chemical deposit. They do not adapt. They do not flex. They leach out slowly over years. Pine tar bonds with the wood fibers themselves. It becomes part of the wood. A 2019 study published in the journal Holzforschung tested pine tar against modern wood preservatives. The results showed that pine tar provided comparable or superior protection against brown rot fungi, even after accelerated weathering tests simulating years of outdoor exposure. And, unlike ACQ, pine tar does not corrode metal. Viking ship nails sat in tar-coated wood for centuries without significant corrosion. The answer is the same answer it always is: speed and cost. Pine tar requires old-growth pine stumps rich in resin. It takes time to collect, time to burn, and time to apply. When the chemical industry developed synthetic wood preservatives in the early 1900s, they could treat thousands of boards per day in a pressure chamber. Pine tar could not compete on volume, but volume is not the same as quality. The medieval farmer who tarred his fence posts once every few years had posts that lasted generations. The modern homeowner who buys pressure-treated lumber from a hardware store will be replacing it in 20 years. We traded 800 years of proven durability for convenience, and now we spend billions replacing wood that should have lasted a lifetime. If you found this valuable, subscribe. I cover forgotten medieval knowledge like this every week.